Goethe.
Here.
Bob McAfee.
Here.
Donna Allen.
Here.
Roger Spencer.
Here.
Bill, please stand and join me in our pledge of allegiance and the invocation. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please pray with me. Gracious God, as we come to you this day to begin another session of the Carl Junction Board of Aldermen, we ask that you impart upon us your wisdom and guidance so that we may promote justice and assist those in need and provide for the overall well-being of the citizens of Carl Junction. In your most holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Rick. Next is the agenda. Are there any comments or corrections to the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda as typed.
Second.
Motion by Roger Spencer, second by Mark Sarley to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative, the agenda is approved. Next is the approval of the consent agenda, which is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting and approval of the disbursements. Are there any comments or corrections to the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Donna Allen, second by Roger Spencer to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative, the consent agenda is approved. Next is public forum. Anyone wishing to speak at public forum? Well, I'm not going to read this unless somebody comes up to speak. Last call for public forum. No, you're on the you're on the agenda. Very well then, since there's no one wishing to speak, we'll go right on to the next. Next, we have to swear in Mark Satterley, who was elected, but we missed the last meeting.
I, Mark Satterley, do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for the office of Alderman, Ward 1, as prescribed by law, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class, and the ordinances of the city of Carl Junction, and faithfully demean myself in office. So help me God.
Next on the agenda is assigning committees. Committee members, I decided to just keep it the same this year. That way everybody get 2 years worth of experience. I'll do something.
You changed one.
Who did I change?
Oh,
Oh, I changed McAfee? I did change that? Oh, I did, didn't I? I don't have the new one here.
And a couple of the committees.
It was in your packet, not later than your,
Where?
it's in your packet.
Okay, it's in my computer.
Yeah.
I noticed a
That'll
couple
take a
of the
while.
committees.
Yeah, I guess that's right. We did decide to do that, didn't we?
Here's the new one.
Good. Thank you.
That's okay, I'm not offended.
Okay. Here's the budget and finance. Donna Allen is chairman, with Rick Flynn, Bob McAfee, and Jim Gozi as members. Code and nuisance, Rick Flynn is the chair, Roger Spencer and Gary Stubblefield are members. Human resources, Roger Spencer is the chair with Mike Burns, Mark Satterley, and Jim Gozi as members. Public facilities and planning, Bob McAfee is the chair with Rick Flynn and Mark Satterley as members, and senior citizens is Gary Stubblefield, chairs with Richard and Martha as our representatives of the public being on that senior citizens. Are there any questions or any comments, any gripes? Good.
I'll give it back to him.
I'm gonna need it when I have to call them.
It'll be right here.
All right. Next on the agenda is Sherwood Mitchell Homes discussing stormwater detention and Country Club Park. You're on.
Do you guys have our exhibit with you up there, or can I hand those out to you if you need them? Yeah, that's right. My name's Dan Mitchell. I'm the Sherwood Mitchell Homes. Thank you for hearing us tonight. The idea here, this piece of ground is just to the east of the Casey's off Fur Road. And what you're looking at in your exhibit, Fur Road would be off the paper, but on the bottom side, Fur Road running across there. And the detention pond you're seeing, the current detention pond exists only on our property. And what we're requesting tonight is for you to think about allowing us to extend that detention pond into the park area in an area that's not really used right now. The people who would like to develop the storage units along Fur Road want, their water is coming toward our property, and they want to send their water to this detention pond. And if we build a new detention pond, which we own the property, we could do that. If we build a new detention pond to the south, it would be detention pond, house, detention pond, house. And so we were hoping to just pipe past the house into this detention pond, expand it a bit, and then it's currently running in, the water is currently running in a swale to the right on your paper, or to the east into the drainage system. And it would continue to do that if we could do this expansion. But it would be improved. We would improve the drainage swale, it would stay in the swale more likely after the fact. And then we also thought we could improve the park kind of as a good trade-off, maybe improve the soccer fields or the grass area as a good trade to make the park more usable than it currently might be today. So that's kind of the situation we're requesting your help on. Any questions?
Yeah,
One, two.
you got one, you can go first.
How big is this pond now, approximately?
Well, if you look at your piece of paper, we're looking to extend it by about 30%.
Right to there.
It is the size of 2 home lots, which are approximately about 140 feet wide, north to south, and probably 130 or 40 deep. Would that be right, Josh? And so we're gonna add on another, 30 feet or so into the park area to the east, if that would be amenable to the city.
I know Anita Drive goes in front of it now.
Yes, sir, that's right.
And in our, I guess, 5-year plan, we had Anita Drive eventually going into Fur Road. Now, I know you don't own the property between Fur Road and that.
There is going, if there hasn't already been, there's going to be a request that will come before you from the owner who would like to do storage units along there. I don't think he has in his plan to extend Anita out, correct? That's correct. Would you mind if our engineer speaks?
No, that's fine.
This is Josh Otow from Anderson Engineering.
So like I said, I'm Josh Howe, civil engineer with Anderson Engineering. On that Fur Road comment, I looked at it and actually spoken a little bit with the city engineer for you guys. And I know with the Fur Road widening, I know talking with him, we're kind of actually both against another access on the Fur Road. Because I believe with that future widening of Fur Road, you guys are wanting for that to be a collector for the area. And I know just talking with the city engineer, from our discussions, he was also kind of against adding another access between those 2 intersections.
Where are they widening it?
Fur Road.
Where are they widening Fur Road?
Future of it would be 3 lanes, or 2 lanes with turn lanes all the way, so there would be.
But that's clear up by Lone Mountain Fur, right?
No, that's all along for the, there is no time frame. No, I mean, it hasn't been.
So just my understanding of discussions with him, given that if that were to take place, I think we both agree that it would be better to limit the access, given if those future expansion were to take place.
Obviously, you've never tried to get out on Briarbrook Drive in the morning or evening,
Understood.
because you can't.
Understood.
People there forever. We're trying to put another one down a little bit further west, but still we have that problem on the east side of people getting out. Ideally for us, I mean, I'm giving you my personal opinion. I mean, these are the people who can make the decision in planning and zoning. Another thing, where you want to put the detention pond? it still cuts out a little bit of the football field there at the corner, kind of where they would have it. Is there any way to shift that just a little bit north and make it kind of go that and then go up like that? So you still have the drain going into the existing pipe there?
Yes, sir. We can alter the overall orientation of the pond. This is just based off preliminary approximate
Okay.
calculations. We're seeking approval from you guys tonight so we can finalize the calculations and submit the preliminary plat for prior notice at 6.
Well, we can't give you approval because you got to go through planning and zoning and everything, but I guess you can get, I mean, does anybody have a big objection to doing this?
Well,
No.
I just have a couple
Sure.
questions. I want to know if this is a development that's just being proposed and the storage is being proposed and everything, what kind of precedents are we setting to allow people to come in and make detention ponds in our city parks for planned projects that haven't even been approved? I mean, we're giving up part of our city parks. Is there going to be, I know it's not that much, but what happens when the next developer comes in and has kind of the same issues? Or is this gonna bite us as we go forward? And is there any kind of fencing or anything around this pond? I know the one there at Cody John Way or whatever, there's a lot of times it holds quite a bit of water.
No, I understand that concern. We're making this request because ideally, we would have developed this property altogether and put the detention basin on the lowest point being where we're showing it now. It's better for stormwater flow and 100-year flow paths and to limit flooding for the future residents. As far as adding a fence, and you can speak to that, but I'm sure we're fine adding a fence to it to keep people out. But as far as this expansion, we're wanting to expand it because detention on the downstream area, we can safely get the 100-year for the future development that we're proposing, the existing development and the storage units to the south to this detention basin, and then release it to pre-existing rates across the park while maintaining, improving capacity in the existing swale.
Well, and I know there needs to be a solution in that area because in the springtime when we get the heavy rains, that detention, I mean, it goes clear across and goes clear on the Hickory.
See, and the concern that we have is if we were to place another detention pond upstream, if that detention pond were to fail, it would spill out and head down to this detention pond with houses between the two detention ponds. So when we are making this request for a better stormwater design overall for this, not just the existing, but the future and the storage units in the area.
What kind of, I know you're talking about like a contribution to improve something there in the park, and I know it is bad. I mean, it's got gravel, it's got holes. What kind of dollar amount of this are we talking about? Do you know, as far as improvement wise?
We haven't done that calculation. I mean, Steve had asked about soccer fields being re-sodded.
Can I piggyback on that for just a second? The problem with the fields, as far as the ability to play soccer on them, is the drainage. Those fields won't be playable for another week and a half with the rain we got today. And so the sod would be great, but so my question is going to be, is there a way to, I don't have this detention pond and this would affect the drainage of the park that we have currently, because if there was any kind of trade-off, it would be improving the drainage of that park, I think. I don't know if this plan affects that or.
Well, that's kind of what we were thinking, is we're gonna be in there with heavy machinery and we're gonna be working on the pond itself and expanding it, so we'd be there. And while we were there, if we needed to raise the elevation of the soccer fields and smooth it out and then resod it so that it's usable and drains off more quickly, then we can certainly do that as a part of the project.
One thing, and I think I did bring this up with Josh, was that there's an instead of that swell, there is an existing pipe already put in there that Jimmy put in. It's a 18-inch diameter.
Pretty big.
18-inch diameter pipe already, so the swell, you just have to tie in it. So it's an engineering thing, so.
How will this affect the problem we have there off of Hickory to the east, where we've got the flooding back behind You know, like cut across,
Birch.
straight across,
Goes
yeah,
across Birch.
shot behind Birch. And is that gonna pump more water down in there?
So the detention pond, when we finalize the cows, it will release, what it's releasing now, pre-existing peak flows is what we call it for the 2, the 10, and the 100-year storm. This detention pond will be put in place, the excess stormwater will fill up in the detention ponds, and then the basin will release at those same existing rates. So we're not gonna be adding any more peak flow than what the area is seeing right now with the detention pond.
Yeah, because I know there's a big problem over there, just east of the park.
It likely won't solve that problem, it just doesn't make that's the rule is you can't make it worse.
Right, it just won't make it, that's why I just didn't want to be putting a lot more water into something that's already flooding.
And so then also, since we're digging this pond out, we likely will have plenty of dirt to raise the level of the soccer fields or address the issue of their, being wet for too long right now. And
Maybe a small crown of some sort.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it would be a good
We'll
trade-off if we
design
could
it.
improve
I would
that.
say we'll have them design it, do it right, and then we'll build it as part of the project so that it's usable more quickly after it rains. It'll still get wet. So.
I mean, it sounds like it could be a good trade-off to get a playable field. The only thing, like I say, the reason I asked about the fence is if it's land use that's designed to have young children running and playing, I just don't want one of them ending up in a detention pond that holds water like the one at Cody John Way.
I won't be there when it's holding water though.
Well, I don't know because I've walked that neighborhood before when it's nice and sunny and it's still holding water in that.
Well, what'll happen is that what should happen is maintenance. It's got a plate on it that has small holes in it, and that as the water rises, more and more water can be released up to a point. And if those have any kind of trash or, anything.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna release more slowly, correct? And so really, parks people or just somebody who come by once in a while and clean that out. would be
So
very
maintenance would
helpful.
fall to us.
I think that's how this is set up. It's got an easement and there's no homeowners association. In large part, storm ponds are a system. They're a stormwater system. And they're just the end of a system. So cities tend to understand, well, at the inlets, we should take care of it. And in the pipe, we should take care of it. But where that pipe ends up in the detention pond, cities are all like, we should not take care of that. But there's really only very little maintenance. It tends to silt in a little bit, and sometimes trash will get in the way of the outlet structure. And I think there's cause for the functionality of a pond to be looked at by cities and cared for by cities. Now, there might be a different discussion about mowing it, like maybe the neighbors could do that part of it and things like that.
I don't
In
think
the
they
end,
can't
it's-
mow it on city property. I don't think we want that liability of neighbors.
Don't say that.
Well, I'm just
Have you
saying,
been over to Lakeside lately?
I think this pond,
I'm just saying, I don't think.
We don't. A clarification on that. I don't think that any of our stormwater ponds has fencing around it. Any of them that are in town, none of them have fencing around it.
Does
Not-
this
not
not
that I
go
know
to
of.
P and Z next?
Well,
Yes,
I
that's
think
what
what they're looking for is they want to make sure that all you guys aren't against this, right? They know we can't approve anything tonight. And I think we're gonna have to,
It's gotta go through P and Z because the plat's gonna have to go through
you know,
P and Z.
obviously if they come in here and all of you say, no, we're not gonna do this, they're not gonna spend the money to try and get more drawings and figure out how it is.
Right.
I think we also would like to hear from the owner for the storage thing too. I'd like to talk to him about that too, because I really would like to talk about Anita Drive. I want to talk to Algar Martin about that and see what the real deal is on that.
Well,
And not that I don't believe you. You may have been talking to Steve and, that's a big problem.
well, and I'm not saying I'm opposed to it. I have some concerns because I have to kind of have some concerns. And one of them is the fact that if we put it in there and then we have to do the upkeep of it. I mean, I understand it's part of our system, but right now we don't have anything in there we're having to do upkeep on. And if we're doing it just to improve what's already there, but we're doing it to improve so that you guys can bill more. So I don't know that all of the cost of maintaining it should fall back on the city, when the only reason it's being put in is so you guys can develop. See what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily opposed, but I do have some reservations.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, because I have to look out for our interest. I mean, you're putting it in to make money.
No, I don't want to make any money.
Yeah. So you guys are putting it in to develop, and then the ongoing costs fall on the city, and you guys have already made the money up front for development.
Yeah,
I
we're-
kind of have an issue with that.
Yeah, we're just saying, and we tend to just do whatever a city wants to, so when we talk about this issue, I just say, well, reasonably, this is what I think, but in the end, you guys make the rules and we do what you want. And in this case, that's just a question we can resolve as we move forward. If it's generally amenable, that maybe the trade-off sounds pretty good, then I feel like we would have the comfort level to move forward with going to P and Z and presenting something, like even tonight, we learned the corner of the football field, we gotta be careful. We need to adjust our,
Yeah.
if it's gonna come back through, we need to adjust
You
that.
kind of see where the concession stand is there, you know, it kind of goes, if it goes, I mean, I don't care if you have a wall right there on the end of it, but I just, if somebody wants to use, put more soccer stuff in there or something like that, I want to make sure they got room to do that.
Yes, sir, got it.
There we go.
Yes, Mark?
Are all of these, retention ponds, just grassed, or are many of them, rocked?
Most have grass, and unless the grade on the side is steeper than 3-1, I believe, in which case we might use rock to reinforce the embankment. But-
You got a cement path in there though.
Well, I guess the only thing I'm thinking is that there's an upkeep problem or question. Could we line it with rock to where maybe weeds and stuff don't grow, grass doesn't grow, and it's rocked?
I don't know.
We usually just go with the engineers on these kind of recommendations. I never even tell them.
I don't know, we don't have a problem with the one there off of Briarwood Drive, do we?
Right.
There's one right there off Briarwood Drive, it's got a little pergola right there, you know?
Right, I see.
I mean, they don't have a problem with that. There's a couple trees in there even too, aren't there?
And to speak to that note, usually when we design these detention basins, we also have them act as water quality basins. So we like the grass contact because pollutants that run off the pavement get in there. They combine with the grass that settle out before releasing downstream.
Yeah, I was only thinking of upkeep, you know, and creating something that doesn't require any upkeep.
You guys, yeah, Rick?
Just a question that you said, as you dig the dirt out to build the larger pond, and that's what you're gonna use to fix the soccer fields, because there's multiple fields, right, that we're gonna work on out there?
Well, right now there's none.
But my question is, if you don't have enough dirt to properly finish the soccer fields, are you gonna get more dirt, or what will that
Yeah, we have a lot.
They got a lot of dirt.
Little Web City, you see all
This
kinds
is a
of.
problem that we need to solve. This is your fault.
They do have a lot of dirt.
We have dirt in the area.
You mentioned
Same
earlier
color.
about the fence, is that still in play? I mean, because we said now none of the other detention have fences, well, this one still, you mentioned that you would put a fence around it. Is that still,
We can if that's
I mean,
something
I think that was Ladonna, you said something.
Well,
like that.
the only thing would be, it might be harder for upkeep.
It
If
might,
we're gonna do the
might be
Yeah,
part of the
definitely.
city's
Yeah.
work.
I mean, if we're gonna be responsible for it, and it's gonna put more work on Jimmy, if we put a fence around it, then they're gonna have to get in
And if somebody gets in there, it might be harder to get in there and help them too. So just,
Well,
fences have their.
have you been over to look at it right now? After the detention pond right now, from where our pipe is, how deep's that hole there in front of it, Jimmy?
The whole,
Right before you get into the pipe that goes across the park.
4 foot.
Yeah, I mean, that's more of a hazard than the detention pond is right now. I don't care. I mean, this will take care of that.
Yeah.
This would take care of that.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with it.
Anybody have a problem with them going ahead?
No, I want to clarify, I was not opposed.
I know,
They're talking about
I
big
know. I
investment,
just,
but so are we on the,
I mean, obviously it's got to go through and we have to talk about it. And if they go ahead and get some drawings on it, what they're wanting to know is, we're not totally against it right now and tell them,
I think it's a good deal myself.
yes, sir, Mr. Talley.
So clarification, the plans you're gonna put together, are they gonna show the improvements to the soccer field as well as, so and that's, I mean, soccer fields are city property, but we want you to do that because we want to see what the trade-off. Right, am I?
That's exactly, sir.
So can I have one thing?
Yes, Mike.
I'd appreciate if you would talk to the president of the Youth Soccer Association, maybe, because they may have a certain layout in mind, and it may help you when you're making your schematics as far as where you could put the improvements.
Yeah.
And I can get you his contact information if.
We'll do it, for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you have any idea when the storage unit guy is gonna show up?
I do not.
The last meeting that we had with the storage unit guy, Kurt Higgins, shot holes in the plant. Is that a fair assumption? Yeah, Kurt shot holes in the plant and we haven't seen anything back yet.
Okay.
So the concern was stormwater, providing stormwater on site.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, this will help solve that solution.
Yeah, understand. So we may get a trade-off with him.
So we are working with him too, so he needs us,
Well, yeah,
and we both need.
if you can tell him my concern is, although you said that the city engineer may not like that, whoever that was that Kurt?
That's
That's
Kurt.
correct. And he basically, from what I recall, he brought that concern up when we were talking about the storage units with the storage.
We'll talk to him about that then. But that, you might want to tell the storage unit guy that what my concern is about any, even though the city engineer does not have that concern. And I'm not an engineer.
But he's not the mayor, so there you go.
Well, it's you guys' decision, not mine.
Any other questions?
Any other thing else?
I tell them, go ahead with it.
Thank you. We appreciate you coming in. Thank you very much. Okay. Next is ordinances, I believe.
Yep.
An ordinance amending chapter 720, water rates.
Move to approve this ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second. Motion by Don Allen, second by Bob McAfee to put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
And also amending Title 7 Utilities, Chapter 705, Water Article 3, User Charge System, by amending Section 705.330, Actual Use Rate Structure, to set water rates to be effective May 15, 2021, for residential in-town users, commercial water customers, and out-of-town users, and to provide that the cost of postage and stationery, if necessary, to deliver a printed statement of charges to the customer shall be added to the schedule of monthly charges for water service.
How much more is it gonna cost me to pay my water bill every month?
That's what I just said to myself. Oh crap, I forgot to get you the existing rates. What's the existing water rate? You know,
It's tough to look at it. Bill you send out.
Here you go.
Yeah, I know that's what the new is. 1439.
Okay, we've got 1420 as opposed to 1439 and 352 as opposed to 359.
Officer.
Excuse me?
The price per gallon.
14.
Price per thousand.
Price per 1,000 gallons.
So,
Yeah,
19 cents.
1434 and 356.
Wait a minute. That's not in my
That's
code
not the
book.
amount he's got.
Maybe it's been amended since then.
And this is 5/15 of 20.
This supplement was put in on May 2019. So
That's why.
obviously, it's,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So it's going up 5 cents on the initial and 3 cents on the per thousand after. Sorry about that.
So
Okay.
not that much.
Not that much.
Not that much. And what that, basically what it is, all of that is for the, in the budget, we approved more of the MXU change out so that we can get that project totally done. So we drastically increased the water meter purchases over the last year. So that's.
Yeah, no kidding. Worried me about my cap on my bottled water.
It looks like.
Thank God we don't have video.
Didn't have.
Okay, well,
All right, so
any further discussion?
I move to put this ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Roger Spencer, to put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance amending Title 7 Utilities, Chapter 705, Water, Article 3, User Charge System by amending Section 705.330, Actual Use Rate Structure, to set water rates to be effective May 15, 2021, for residential in-town users, commercial water customers, and out-of-town users, and to provide that the cost of postage and stationery, if necessary, to deliver a printed statement of charges due to the customer shall be added to the schedule of monthly charges for water service.
Any further discussion?
Move we put this ordinance on final passage.
Second.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Mark Sadler, to put this ordinance on final passage. This is a hand vote to go to electronic voting. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative, please vote electronically.
Vote.
Everybody,
Ladonna?
to Donna.
Mark.
Why is it down?
Thank you.
I was gonna say they were.
8 in the affirmative with none opposed. This is ordinance number 2111. Thank you. Next is ordinance amending chapter 705 sewer rates.
Move we put this ordinance on first reading by title.
Motion by LaDonna Allen, second by Bob McAfee, to put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
And ordinance amending Title 7 Utilities, Chapter 720, User Charge System by adopting a new Appendix A to Sewer Use for Charge Ordinance, Actual Use Rate Structure, May 2021, and by amending Section 720.040, User Charge Rates to reflect said changes in the rates and establishing an effective date for said new rates.
Discussion.
Current rate on sewer is $14.49 and $2.99. And what Dean did on it was we adjusted it also to that front load it like we do a little bit more, and that's to cover another section of the water meters. We take it out of both, since that's where the sewer charges come from. It's from the water side. So
It's 14 what?
$14.99.
When that makes sense.
Yes,
And 1 cent.
and 1 cent down
Oh, 1 cent.
on the per thousand.
But you said 2.99.
Old rate $2.99, new rate $2.98.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Any further discussion?
Move we put this ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Donna Allen, second by Gary Stubblefield, to put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
And ordinance amending Title 7 Utilities, Chapter 720, User Charge System by adopting a new Appendix A to Sewer Use Charge Ordinance, Actual Use Rate Structure, May 2021, and by amending Section 720.040, User Charge Rates, to reflect said changes in rates and establishing an effective date for said new rates.
Any further discussion?
Rick was the second.
Rick was? No. I'm sorry. Would you please
People
correct
confuse
that?
us a lot.
We look a lot alike.
I didn't see it. I just thought your voice sounded.
You know how brothers are.
Rick Flynn seconded the second reading.
And now I move we put this ordinance on final passage.
Second.
So we get.
Motion by LaDonna Allen, second by Brother Gary Stubblefield. This is a hand vote to go to electronic voting. Please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative with none absent. Please vote electronically.
And push your button.
8 in the affirmative with none opposed. This is ordinance
2112.
2112. Thank you. Next is an ordinance approving a contract with the Joplin Family Wire for pool management for 2021.
And move we put this ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by LaDonna Allen, second by Mark Sadler, to put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
And ordinance approving a pool management contract between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and the Joplin Family Wine Incorporated to maintain and operate the Carl Junction pool, providing the terms and conditions thereof and authorize the mayor to execute said contract for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Discussion? Steve, are there any contractual changes other than if there's dollar changes or anything?
I don't think there was. I mean,
Okay.
we met with the wife beforehand. So.
All right. Mike?
Number 10 of the contract here, it says the job becoming wise solely authorized to conduct swimming instruction. I know last time my wife spoke with them, they weren't sure if they were going to offer swimming instruction. So if they're not able to offer some of those, I wish that there was a way that you could get another party in that would offer some of these services.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a problem if they.
The contract says that they're
Do it.
solely authorized, so.
I guess they could give us an approval if they can't anybody do it, right?
If both parties agree to a change, that's going to, but they have to agree to it.
Unless we
I'm
amend the
looking for a
contract.
boilerplate that says changes can be made by mutual agreement, but even if it doesn't say that, and I'm not finding that, typically if they agree to it, they're the only person that could object to it. So,
Yeah. I like a little bit.
that's something that would have to be dealt with. I mean, it could have been dealt with before we got to this level, but at this point, it'd have to be dealt with by mutual agreements. Why would have to agree?
You have a problem with that?
No, you're saying that why would have to agree? That's if we approve this contract, right? I mean.
Right.
Okay.
As of right now, we could go back to the drawing board
Right.
and make that a condition, revise that part of this contract. We could do that.
I'm not that passionate about it, but I'm just saying maybe for the next time, if this is something that they're not able to do in the future. And I don't know where they're at right now because they've always offered swimming lessons, but my wife spoke with them a week ago saying they weren't sure if they were going to be offering this year. And so maybe in the future, next time we have a contract, this time next year, if they're no longer able to meet those requirements, we open that up to somebody else that can. So I'm
Good
okay with
idea.
this
Good
contract.
idea.
And I'm going to pass that to the city administrator because I really don't have contact on the terms of this
Right.
at all. So,
Anything else?
Move we put this ordinance on second reading by title only.
Motion by Don Allen, second by Roger Spencer to put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance approving a full management contract between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and the Joplin Family Line Incorporated to maintain and operate the Carl Junction Pool, providing the terms and conditions thereof, and authorizing the mayor to execute said contract for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Discussion?
I move we put this ordinance on final passage.
Second.
Gary beat you, Mark, sorry. Motion by Don Allen, second by Gary Stubblefield to put this ordinance on final passage. A hand vote with electronic voting, please. Signify by raising your right hand. In the affirmative, please vote electronically. 8 in the affirmative, none opposed. This is ordinance number,
21-13.
thank you. Next is an ordinance approving an agreement with the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce.
Move we put this ordinance on first reading by title only.
Second. Who said that? Motion by Don Allen, second by Rick Flynn. Put this ordinance on first reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance approving an agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce, Incorporated, to provide marketing and promotion services for the city of Carl Junction for the sum of $10,000 annually in accordance with the agreement, providing the terms and conditions thereof, and authorize the mayor to execute said agreement for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Discussion?
I move we put this ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion by Ladon Allen, second by Gary Stubblefield to put this ordinance on second reading by title only. Will the clerk please read the title?
An ordinance approving an agreement between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce, Incorporated, to provide marketing and promotion services for the city of Carl Junction for the sum of $10,000 annually in accordance with the agreement, providing terms and conditions thereof, and authorize the mayor to execute said agreement for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Any further discussion?
Move we put this ordinance on final passage.
Second.
Motion by Donna Allen, second by Rick Fleming, to put this ordinance on final passage. The hand vote to an electronic voting. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. With 8 in the affirmative, please vote electronically. Guys are getting faster. 8 in the affirmative with none against.
That's ordinance 21-14.
Thank you. Well, next is reports, but before we get to reports, I've got a proclamation that I don't normally read proclamations, but I'm going to read this one. It's the 52nd Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week, May 2nd through May 8th, 2021. It says, whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and the agencies of government at other levels, and whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all, whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community, whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the professional municipal clerk through participation in educational seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the professional municipal clerk. Now, therefore, I, Mark C. Powers, Mayor of Carl Junction, Missouri, do recognize the week of May 2nd through May 8th as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Mary Beth Matney, and to all professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Dated this day, 3 May 2021.
Thank you.
Thank you. Until the end of the year, that's all. Okay, now we'll go to reports. Let's go to the administration report.
I did lay an additional information sheet. I think I gave it to Donna on one of them.
With that,
No, for the budget committee, there we go.
Yeah.
From the National Association of Counties of Government.
oh, I saw that.
The mayor had read it earlier. It's a little bit more guidance, and Crystal and I have a webinar again tomorrow on some more guidance on how to use this. It has been quite the topic of conversation for the past week on the city manager's listserv. Everybody's getting ready for it. Everybody is pretty much asking the same questions, I would think. Lots of concerns about what we can use it for, what we can't use it for. Supposedly, U.S. Treasury is supposed to release documentation on the 11th. And we'll see what that turns out to be. We've had lots of ideas floated around, that's for sure.
And most of them aren't covered by the tax we're gonna get this. Except yours.
The latest one is a very good one, and it is covered. It would be 50%. Anyway,
I have all kinds of ideas.
So do I, but he never agrees with mine. I don't know.
Steve actually agreed with this one.
That's okay.
Well-
He didn't want to put the lights in Memorial Park either. We did that over.
If I could add something there
Oh,
to
yeah.
his comment. I talked with Steve about this, and I was also talking with the Springfield city manager. And one of his concerns, and I kind of agree, as soon as money is available and you get guidance in how to use it, one of his concerns is you're going to have every city in the country kind of trying to go for the same projects at the same time. And while 3 years sounds like a long time, trying to get things engineered and get them constructed and get everything, we could all run into a real bind. So I would just say maybe if we I know you guys are doing a lot of the footwork already. We may have to pull the trigger pretty quick on some projects, or we may not get companies in to work on it.
I think what's going to hold us back is more of the timing of the money, because they're going to release it in 2 tranches. First one, 30 days after the county gets it, we get our first half. And then it is no sooner than 1 year later is how the wording is. So it could be
2 years.
2 years, but no sooner than, it could be 366 days, or it could be 720 days, you know, it just,
Right.
that second tranche of money is,
And Jason's concern was, even though Springfield's a lot bigger than us, they're gonna be competing with Kansas City and St. Louis and stuff for some of these contractors and engineers and stuff. And if they're worried about competing, that puts us way down on the totem pole. So, just-
Yeah, I don't think our projects are gonna be that large. We have some.
No, hopefully we won't be competing for the
Yeah.
same firms, but
Right, we'll be trying to use local people.
Yeah.
Maybe job won't use them, who knows?
yeah, we might lose a job perhaps. Actually. Anyhow, I just wanted to share that.
Okay. Anything else for the city administrator? I guess I could wait till I'm finished business. No, that's good now. Had a gentleman here last meeting talking about the Prairie Lane lift station.
yes.
Have you done anything on that?
Yes, I contacted him the next day after the meeting. He fully understands that it is dependent on engineering, and that is what his first step is going to be. He is a developer, so he's familiar with the process. So he was getting with an engineer and finding out. He questioned the need for a lift station himself. He says, when I went out there and stood on the ground and looked around, it was like, I'm not sure that this needs one. So it's headed in the right direction now.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Over by the school?
Yeah.
All right then, let's go to department reports. Public Works, Jimmy? I thought they were burying that line up there on Fairway, but they did a whole bunch of digging and everything else, and there's still a line laying out there.
I've got curb on that.
What in the world are they doing?
Not sure. I was carbon copied on an email Kurt sent to Mediacom asking for more information and why it hadn't been done yet.
It's not Mediacom, is it?
Yes,
Oh, it is? Oh, I thought it was AT&T.
no, Mediacom.
When they get that one done, there's one on Bunker Lane that's going across the road too.
There's probably 20 of them around town. They're out here by the school. They came in, dug up Walnut Street, gonna go down Hartley. Was out there one day, and we haven't seen them in 2 weeks. And their machines are still out there in the ditch.
Okay. You guys got any other questions for Jimmy?
Then water shut
Putting in a
off.
lot of water meters. Very well then. PD, Mark? Thank you, sir. Any questions for PD? We have a building inspector's report. I see that roofing inspections are way down. It's only 58 this time. And it looks like electrical inspections are in second place now. And if you have any comments, the building inspector, he's not here, but we can pass them along. Otherwise, we'll get to committee reports. Budget and Finance, LaDonna.
But we really haven't had any action in the last month, except that we closed out the fiscal year, so I'm waiting on those final statements. But other than that, it sounds like we're just gonna have some work ahead of us going further, so. Whenever you guys need the budget committee to meet on anything, let me know.
Code and nuisance, Rick.
I don't have anything, sir.
Human Resources, Roger.
Nothing.
Public facilities, well, since I just put Bob in today, it's your turn. Nothing. All right. The only reason I did that is because you work on the evenings a lot.
And I appreciate that.
I'm sure you do. Senior citizens.
Best one ever, Richard,
Today,
in the past year, anyway.
this is unusual.
That's-
Oh, today is the great day.
Since
Today
of the
is
year,
Senior
Mayor.
Pardon?
Since of the year is.
Yes, I was there.
I know.
That was
Congratulations.
Congrats. Thank you. I don't know how that all happened, but that was good. Today was our first day back with the soft opening. We had 29 or so plus people. They're limited in regard to the space, 2 people to a table, which hopefully that gets lifted soon, because when you're trying to socialize, that doesn't work as well as it could. One of the things that they did today was recognize folks who had passed on in the last year. Now, not necessarily associated to COVID, but when you sit down and look back, this number was 22 people that have been associated with the senior center. Now, some of it may have been some time back, and all of that stuff, but 22 people, and I'm not saying they're COVID related, I'm just saying in the last year when you look back. So that was pretty sobering thing today. One of the good things today is that we had Gary and Rick and Martha as guests, and so that they can see what a lunchtime goes like. So we invite I guess we have to invite 2 at a time, whatever. 2 at a time, if you would like to come, that would be good. So we're on roll.
Can I ask you just a personal, since I can't ask people's health stuff. You think most people have been vaccinated?
Yes, most of the people that I talk to have been vaccinated.
Yeah, I know I can't ask personally if anybody has or not, because that's a HIPAA violation, but I would think that maybe they're gonna relax some of these rules if people have been vaccinated or something like that. You have more people in there.
There are some people who just will not be. There are some.
Yeah.
But my feeling is that most of them that I ask, you get a positive response on that.
Anything else for Richard? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anything else out of you, Gary?
The chicken was very good.
There you go.
Lemon chicken.
Lemon chicken.
All
But
right.
it would be nice if 2 at a time, we all paid our respects and showed our support to go for lunch.
Moving right along, unfinished business. Mr. Gosen,
Nothing.
Mr. Satterley,
I have nothing, sir.
Mr. Burns,
I have nothing, sir.
Ms. Allen.
The only thing is I had sent an email out to all the aldermen, and I know Rick responded. I'm not sure if Gary was planning on going. Is anybody else planning on going Thursday?
I can't now.
You can't.
Yeah.
So, Rick, are you still going Thursday? Okay, so we don't have to publish it. It's just, I guess us.
I'm taking 2 people from the CID. I'm driving.
So you don't want to be associated with us?
We're meeting you at
Low
the,
lives.
we're meeting you at the cellar.
For lunch.
Are you meeting at Cellar?
Yes, we're meeting you at the
All
cellar.
right. Okay, well, that's all I wanted to know is maybe who was going, so.
Okay, I'm going.
Who's going?
This,
So it'll be the 3 of us.
Okay, the 3 of us.
3 of us.
The 3 of you guys.
what?
Oh, yeah, okay.
We had a what?
Do we need to post it with?
I will. I don't know if this is going off. We're gonna post it anyway.
It's kind of ironic we don't post an appearance at Sunshine Law.
Is this I can talk about business?
Talk about business.
Yeah. Yeah, better
Well,
post it.
Donna never talks about business.
I never talk about business.
Yeah, talk.
I'm possibly the most unprofessional person up here, Mike. I don't know what you think I'd be talking about this.
I'll give you a
Second. Mayor Pro Tem. See how that works?
Anything else?
No, sir.
Unfinished? I have no unfinished business. What?
Nothing.
No, sir.
No, Mayor.
Mr. Talley? Lena?
No, sir.
Mary Beth? Crystal? Steve?
Yes, sir.
Jimmy? Mark? New business? Bob? No.
No, sir.
Just a question. Do we know anything about crawl can coming into our area? As far as internet cable and everything? What?
It's public knowledge, what Crystal said the other day. On Beacon.
They are working this direction.
Do you want to mention
That's a
that?
very political answer.
Well, I did one time previously, but I've been asked not to
Oh, okay.
make a public announcement about it.
Okay. Fine with me.
That's all, sir.
Roger? I have no new business.
Nothing.
I have nothing, sir.
Mark?
I have no.
Jim?
No, sir.
Mr. Tyler? Lynn?
No, sir.
Mary Beth?
Yes, sir.
Crystal?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, sir.
Jimmy? Mark? Is there any other business before the council?
I move we adjourn.
Listen to Donna Allen, say my Mark Saturday that we adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. In the affirmative, Mark, did you vote?
Did you?
We are adjourned.
I'm going back.
That's the 1,000 feet from right.
I would double check just because.
I know. Oh, Steve, you gonna take pictures of everybody?
Are we taking?
We all got our shirts on.